Hello, good evening. Welcome to this special presentation on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi and with me my colleague Osama and me are on the edge of our seats like the billion fans at this moment across the country, hoping, waiting for a wicket haul, for a miracle. Osama, are we at that stage where we can start calling a miracle needs to happen immediately now?
I think we are at a stage where we can start folding our hands in a prayer and say those prayers because that is what India needs at this point of time. Travis Head and Manas Labuschagne, they're just taking on the Indian bowlers. It feels as if it's a very different game that they're playing at this point of time, and they don't really have the kind of pressure that India would have wanted them to be under. But you never say no when it comes to cricket, and we are always hopeful. So let's see, let's wait.
And we have a fantastic bowling unit. So we are still hoping that, you know, Shami comes. It just takes, 3 balls for a hat-trick. We are also being joined by our cricket expert. Sawa Kareem is also with us. We were just, before getting into the show, we were talking about, all right, we are also being joined by Mr. Angad Bedi. Angad, thank you so much for speaking to us. Sawa, if you don't mind, I'll quickly go and take a couple of questions with Mr. Bedi. Angad, thank you for speaking to us here on NDTV. I want to first start by asking you, all of us are on the edge of our seats. I'm sure you are also watching this match. What are you hoping at this moment?
Well, as everybody else is, that India should definitely win. We should win. And before I finish saying that, Sababhai, I hope you're well. Thanks, not seen you in a while. But I genuinely feel we're bowling to our fields, and I'm really liking the way. Well, I'm not a cricket expert, but as a viewer, as an audience, as an avid lover of the game, I'm loving the way Mohammad Shami has come back, and at the same time Kuldeep Yadav has found his groove and bowling very well in tandem with Ravindra Jadeja. It's a kind of a slow wicket that I can perceive and I can see. I just feel that to get them thinking, the Aussies right now definitely have a partnership going on, but to break it, I feel that if Ravindra Jadeja can come into play as soon as possible again, I think we would have a wicket or two
Angad,
him.
Angad, who are you pinning your hopes on in this particular match? Because we have seen the Pacers doing really well. The spinners in this match, they haven't really come to the party, and that is a slight worry for India, isn't it?
See, जब विकेट मिल जाएगी ना तो वरी चली जाएगी. It's all about the partnership. I just feel that Mohammad Shami had taken 7 wickets. He didn't have a great start, but slowly he took charge of it again. Bumrah has bowled a great spell. I just feel if the spinners, I'm not again talking as a cricket expert at all, but thoda dheere dalein ball, let them also think. I just feel that the ball is coming too fast on the bat. And since it's a wicket which is slow, spinners can take advantage of the fact that if the ball is left slightly a little longer in the air, if it holds there, then thoda batsman ka jo the eye, it needs to adjust, and then I feel that is where the spinners will have an advantage. It's just coming too quicker, the ball on the bat right now.
My word, Angad, you're talking like your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, and you're absolutely right.
Just about to say that.
Absolutely right about the spinner.
No, because when I
congratulations,
remember
Angad, for your gold medal as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. I remember when I used to bowl left arm spin for Delhi. There used to be what we were taught, like what I was taught, was that sometimes every spinner would think it's an advantage to bowl with the wind. But we were taught that to bowl against the wind should be your advantage, because the more you let the ball be in the air, the more difficult it will be for the batsman to pick the length of the ball.
Yes, and
so I just feel that they have Daniel Vettori sitting there, the Aussies, and Zampa bowled such a good spell.
Yeah, and
I feel that the reason why Zampa also looked good was because the ball came a lot slower.
And Angad, if I can only add to this, is that it will hang in the air if you give more revolution. And I think that is what Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav will have to do. But I think at this stage, it's so important for Rohit Sharma and India to break this partnership.
Absolutely.
Good to see Mohammad Shami back. I think you need to get your wicket-taking bowlers back in the attack, because why would you wait for them for the last 10 overs? This is the right time for your wicket-taking bowlers to get back. So Mohammad Shami back, maybe a couple of overs to Jasprit Bumrah, and then on the other hand, on the other From the other end, you can continue with either Ravindra Jadeja or Kuldeep Yadav, because this is a perfect combination here for Australia. They have Travis Head, who's batting with a strike rate of about 80 to 90.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you have Manas Labuschagne, who's more sedate, but he's an ideal foil for Travis Head at this stage.
You know how amazing it would be at this point of time to have somebody like the legendary Bishan Singh Bedi in this team, and what a turnaround that would have been in this particular team. Angad, I really want to talk about, we have been talking about the India-Australia match, but I also want to get your thoughts on your father. It must have been a very difficult period. Just give us a sense of the kind of loss that it means to you, because he was not just any other cricketer. He was something else for every one of us who have watched him, who have learned so much from him. It must be a big loss for you.
It definitely is. I saw him through the eyes of many such greats like Kapil Dev sir, Madan Lal sir, Paji, Sachin Tendulkar. He means so much to them, and he'll always do. But the love he had for Yuvraj Singh, I'll never forget. And UV and I are like 4 years apart. He's my senior. And we used to play pretty much like I represented under 16 and I played against him also. But my dad used to be fascinated by talent. And I feel that talent used to be drawn towards him and he used to be drawn towards talent. However, as far as I was concerned, I was pretty mediocre myself at the sport. I was okay in the age group category, but he told me very clearly, he said, son, on the field, you're not my son and I'm not your father. You're as good as anybody else. So you will have to pull your weight and never expect any favors out of me. So remember that. And he always told me that if you are, when I was 19 and he said, I was 15, I remember, sorry. And he said, by the time you're 19 to 21, if you're not knocking on the Indian doors to, be picked, then you're wasting your time with this game. So he was very clear as far as what his vision was with the sport, where he thought that I should also land. But yes, for me, I have lost a friend. I've lost somebody who I really, valued, and I will always will. But his love for the game will always be there. And, for him, cricket was his livelihood. Cricket was something that he lived. He used to breathe cricket, used to eat cricket, and he used to sleep cricket. So he's one person who I'm sure the cricketing fraternity will miss a lot. But he's left some really good memories behind, and I cherish them because I was born to him in '83. He stopped playing in '79.
Yeah.
And then I saw him train with the Delhi team, with the Punjab team, with the Indian team, and then I also trained with him. It's just there's a fire in my belly. I think like a sportsman. I have a sportsman spirit, all thanks to him.
Angad, and the legendary Mr. Bedi, always known, he was upfront about everything, never held back his punches. And also, what a spirit, even as a coach, as somebody who was watching the game, his never give up attitude. If he would have been with us today, and in this situation where India finds itself in, what would Mr. Bedi would have been saying and, bucking these our team up with?
I feel he would have had a silly point, a short leg and a slip. And he would have. I feel he would have had not a mid off and a mid on, and neither a long on and a long off. He would have had them in between, like it's like sometimes Sababa, I would agree. There's always a flying slip when the wicket is fast for the fast bowlers. He would put his mid off, mid on slightly 5 steps back, so it's neither a single, but the batsman is still tempted for the big hit, and he would toss the ball up. He would do that. I think Daniel Vittori should be asked this question because he's there on the ground. He spent enough time with
He actually used to dislike such kind of a defensive mindset, isn't it, Angad? And I mean, if I can sum him up in one sentence, and I would say that he is the perfect embodiment of what India stands for. His whole personality was reflective of what India is. And I think his character was a sum of whatever, we have grown up with the idea of India. And I think in my assessment of him or my interaction with him have always been such an honest kind of an interaction. He's always been very forthright in his comments, what he thinks about the game, the way the game is developing, and the kind of demands it has put on modern day cricketers, and the way they need to accept the responsibility and take the game forward.
Well, you know, Angad, before we let you go, because the viewers, those who are watching our Hindi channel, they would love to hear you. Before we let you go to our Hindi channel, can we just ask one little favor from you? What will be your shout out to Team India at this moment? All of us have our fingers crossed. As I said, we are on the edge of our seats.
I just feel they should just, they just need to give it all they got. I just feel this is such a total where now that they need to, I can just say it as a viewer, honestly. They know what is best, what is happening on the field, and they've got experts in the dressing room for that. But see, this moment is never going to come back again.
Correct.
So I feel they should just live it like king size and bowl like with a big heart. Like really go attacking, never mind on they should not be, the bowlers should not be on the defensive at all, because they don't have much to, 240 plus is not a big total right now. So I just feel that they should just go out there, attack, which is going to be the best form of defense.
Be brave is the message from Angad Bedi, and rightly so, because
Play
that
like
is what we need.
The legendary Bishan Singh Bedi. Just put your heart out there, and leave everything else up to the people upstairs. Thank you so much, Angad Bedi. Absolute pleasure having you with us on this show. Sabha, before we also let you go, I just want to ask you one more question. At this moment, like we've been talking about, of course, we have to take the wickets. I mean, there is no other way for us to win this match. Now, the target is in double figures. I think it's 97 that is required. Should India be more attacking in terms of their fielding? I mean, you can't defend this total. You'll have to bowl them out.
Absolutely right. And if Australia bats to about 45 overs, they can easily get to their target. So I think it's so important for India to attack at this stage and to have that kind of mindset. That's why I talked about getting Mohammad Shami back in the attack, which they have done. Maybe give Jasprit Bumrah a couple of overs. If you recall, that's how Pat Cummins rotated his bowlers. You got Mitchell Starc back for the second spell. He picked up some wickets. Then he brought back Josh Hazlewood. He got some important wickets. And I think that's what India needs to do at this stage. There is no point in holding your main wicket takers back, because what's the point in having the overs when the game is already done? So I think if India has to win from here, they need to strike now. Otherwise, it may just get very late for India to come back.
Sabha, would you say another five overs are basically going to decide the match now?
Yes, maybe 7 to 10 overs, because India will try and hang in there. India will try to take this game deep. That's what Australia is trying to do, because this is kind of a dogfight, and it is not over till the time the last run is scored. So I think India will always fancy the chances of picking wickets, because you see one wicket here will bring in Glenn Maxwell, and you can never say anything about Glenn Maxwell. It may be his day, it may not be his day. So India will always think that they fancy their chances if they can pick a wicket here and break this partnership.
So like we were talking about, Angad was also speaking about this, that our spinners at this moment at least are not looking as effective. I mean, it's looking like the batsmen are able to score off them. Even if it's singles, they are easily able to take those runs. Who would you reckon at this moment Rohit Sharma can turn to, apart from Shami on the other end, that possibly could produce some results for India?
Well, talking about the two spinners, first up, it is also a lot to do with the conditions here. And that is the reason why Australia decided to bat first. They felt under lights, with dew coming in a little bit, the wicket will add some more pace, and I think that is what has happened. The wicket at this stage, after pitching, the ball is skidding through to the bat. That is why they're finding it so easy. I've yet to see an odd ball turn from both the spinners. And that is what I think Angad picked a very right point, that they need to give more revolution instead of trying to bowl fast in the air. If they can give some more flight, maybe take it up above the eye level of the batter, there is a possibility that that these two batters may falter. But yes, I have mentioned this, get back Jasprit Bumrah in the attack, a couple of overs from him, and try and break this partnership. That is the only way to go forward, because right now I think it is getting very easy for both Travis Head and Manas Labuschagne to get runs.
Absolutely. They are scoring at will at this moment.
Absolutely. And the most dangerous of the two, it looks like Travis Head, who has been... Sabha, I want to ask you about him. He wasn't in the team initially because of injuries, etc. But the kind of value that he adds to this Australian side, it is absolutely phenomenal, because he came in and he came in a match, scored 100, and then since then he has just been absolutely on top of his game throughout the tournament.
Yes, Osama, and that was the missing link which Australia was waiting for. I think with him back in the 11, I think this side looks much more better. He has added more muscle to the side, not only with his approach, the fact that he's getting runs. Even in the last game, he got some runs. But in addition to that, his ability to pick wickets. Look what happened in the last game against South Africa. That one particular over changed the game upside down. So I think Travis Head, his multi-dimensional skills have come to the fore. And today also, in such a big clash, this is his first World Cup.
Yeah.
It seemed that he's been able to absorb the pressure so well.
Yeah.
When more so after 3 wickets had fallen so quickly, still Travis Head remained at the wicket and has scored in such a brisk pace. He does not have... Technically, he's not a very sound cricketer, but he has found his own way to score runs. He sits beside the line of the ball and scores freely. I think that has been the hallmark of Travis Head's contribution so far for the Australian side. And let's not forget the catch which he took off Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal catch.
A game changer.
Possibly,
Absolutely.
it was the game changer of this match as well. But Sabah Karim, thank you so much for speaking to us. Sabah Karim is going to be with us. Don't lose hope, ladies and gentlemen. There is still a lot of cricket left in this game. We are hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that it's just going to be one over. That one over.
Just a couple of balls. Just a couple of balls. And we'll manage to get those wickets.
Yeah, and the game will entirely change. All right, with that, we are slipping into a very short break.